Today let's look at drill press service. Do we have our table square? Is the drill press chuck itself good and clean inside before you do this check? And make sure you have a spindle of some kind that you know is true. Perhaps you can even use a 1/2-inch drill bit. Here's the deal. Not only are we going to check for squareness left to right here, it'd be a good thing to check your chuck itself to see how it's doing. Inside here is a sleeve that allows the whole works to come up and down, and that operates on a spline so that it can turn the chuck. Turns out, while I'm doing my service, I think I'm about to the point of it's done. I mean, play the bugles, you know, dee dee dee, right? I don't know if I can get parts anymore because it's so old, but this is something I thought maybe is going on elsewhere that you guys should maybe check out. Or maybe you just need to trim or tune up your table. Now, I was really hoping that mine just needed a table adjustment because I noticed I had a little bit of drift going on, but it's because the bearings are getting worse and worse, or this sleeve up above is just getting more and more worn. And it's to the point where it's just not a drill press anymore. You might as well drill by hand. So let's look at this. Let's say that mine is in perfect shape. And right now we're just going to have a look at the differentials you have on your table. And from brand new, it turns out I never had 90 degrees on my table. The front end was always, down just a little bit because I always needed 2 shims under the front corners. So that's something for you guys to look at. If you've always been wondering why your accuracy is never 100% perfect, perhaps that's an issue. You also have drill walk. So if you're forcing your bit or the bit itself isn't razor sharp, that can be another game too. Another issue is if you're pressing too hard while you're drilling. These are hollow tubes, both the one that's horizontal and the one that's vertical. And it's pretty easy to flex those tubes, especially if your drill press wasn't, a lot of money. So the cheaper versions will flex more. It's just an inherent part of the design. So something I came up with years ago too is a jack screw like this. And it's just simply, T-nuts that are inside here, and a piece of threaded rod and some nuts. And you can put this underneath your table. You can make it whatever length you want. And it really helps stop at least a little bit of the flex. And in this case, it stops my table from flexing and then transfers it pretty much to the upper horizontal tube. But it minimizes the flex. And we're all talking about accuracy and how to get more or how to adjust your drill press. Lastly, let's look at what you have front to back. That's where mine was off, and that's the way you can't adjust a drill press. So it's just as simple as really thin washers underneath your screws that you're going to put a tabletop on. I mean, if you don't want a tabletop on, I don't know how to fix your problem. You really need a tabletop so that you can put a spacer underneath there, because there's no real way to change the angle of the top without messing with the adjustment in back. And if you put a shim back in this adjustment, then when you tighten the screw down below on your table, you'll find that that'll want to walk around a lot easier now because it's not in full contact with both pieces, the front and the back. You put a spacer between the two. So I wouldn't do that. I think what I would do is the safe way is just take a board, maybe it's 2 pieces of whatever material, marry them together with some glue, and then put some spacers underneath. Maybe it's just a thin band of tape is all you need. Who knows? Maybe it's a standard washer. Whatever it is, get it handled so your front to back is absolutely perfect, and you'll have a lot better alignment next time you go to try to make your drill press do something perfect. You guys let me know what you think. Take care.